Welcome to the number one U13 hockey podcast in southern New Brunswick, the Bob Pod, with your host, Dan Bobski.
Welcome to the Bob Pod, episode 13. This is covering week 5 of the New Brunswick West U13 AA League. To be honest, I've created a pattern of doing one a week. I'm a little hockeyed out. We just got done the Ted Mckight tournament. Didn't really go the way I wanted. No one was in the final. We lost the final. We didn't have a great game on Tuesday. So I'm just a little hockeyed out. There's 8 games. So generally what I do is I go through the game sheets, kind of form it out in my head, like how this is how it went, have who did what goal in what order or whatever. And I have all that laid out going into it. This week I just wasn't in the mood to do that, so I'm going to kind of do it while I'm on the screen with you guys. So this might be a real lengthy one. I got a couple things I want to vent about. I got a couple things I didn't like, a couple things I did like. I don't really know where I'm going to go with this. It was a long week in the world of Dan Anderson with the hockey this week. So we're going to start right from the top. We're going to go back to Monday. So there's only 2 games on the docket this week. The first one was Hampton versus KV in Hampton at that new Summit Center. I went down and actually watched that game. I don't have a great recollection of it. I know Hampton was playing extremely well, and it seemed like KV was really struggling to get out of the blocks there, and they're having a hard time getting goals. Hampton was up at the time. Cat's meowing at me. Hampton was up at the time 4-2. And it just seemed like that's how it was going to end. It seemed like we weren't going to get any more goals beyond that. And then Luke Nicole just went on fire. He got down there, got a goal, and then there was on that same shift a bad giveaway with a cross-crease pass that Luke Nicole picked off again, went down, scored, made the game a 4-4 game, and that was it. So she ended that way, 4-4. Hampton was probably disappointed to give up the lead. Seemed like a lot of the KV parents were disappointed that they thought their kids could have played a little better. So everybody came out of that one not loving it. But I thought Hampton played really well. I thought they were in that whole game. Again, another tie with a big team. They tied the Outlanders there before, and Outlanders are still the top team in the league right now in the standings. So Hampton can play. They didn't have a great tournament week, but they've been hit hard by some sickness. A bunch of kids are down with the fever and everything else. So it's funny, this hockey thing, especially this league where everybody's so even. Like we came off last week, week 6, last time I would have done one of these podcasts, feeling like $1 million. We came off that game beating the Ice Dogs 5-1, and this week did not go well for us. We got to the final of the Ted Mckight tournament, but well, let's go into it. So the next game, it was a disaster for us. So if you were a Lancaster parent, it was a great game. Lancaster came out good. They outplayed us. They were the better team. They would have won regardless. Like they played really well. But the refereeing was there was a lot of calls. I'm not even gonna say the refereeing's bad. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But there was a lot of calls. There was 36 penalty minutes in a 36-minute game. There were several 5-on-3s. There was a 4-minute head-head, and then there was a 5-minute major against us. And we lost 5-1. 4 of the 5 were power play goals. But even that, that doesn't tell the story. That sounds like I'm trying to undercut Lancaster and say we would have beat them. It's not even that. It's just it would be nice to play hockey. We get into these situations where you just can't play hockey. It's just whistle, whistle, whistle. I'm not criticizing a young kid here. Like this is a grown man. This is a grown man referee, and I'm gonna take a preview here. Just this is again my spot to vent. This is me on my own YouTube channel saying my own opinion. I mean, if somebody wants to come down on me and say I can't have an opinion on my own private whatever, then whatever. Like, I heard that I might be in trouble for something I said in that game at one point. And I was like, geez, the internet really crapped out on me. So I had to switch from the live scoreboard over straight to YouTube. And I had like 8 people following my stream anyway. It was already 3-1 at that time. Like 8 live streamers. Again, all the situation I just said, 36 penalty minutes, blah, blah, blah. So even in that scenario, so like I was looking at the rule book, and generally, if you're a disruption to the game, if you're yelling at the referees or somebody on the ice, then you're a disruption to the game and you're asked to leave. Then the league can penalize you, or the league can decide you can't come into the rink, or try to do something with your child, etc., etc. If I'm privately talking on a Sussex podcast or live stream, and I say, geez, there's a lot of penalties here, or this referee is not doing very good, and I'm not even going to give him that. I'm not even going to say I picked on a specific referee. I pointed out something that I'm going to point out here that I think is an issue. But I heard that there might be some kind of issue with something I said in that game. So I said, whatever. I had nobody watch it at the first part of it. I had to throw out the first half anyway. The second half was just a mess. I already missed 4 goals in it. I had 8 people watching the live stream. I heard somebody was going to review something, so I just put it to private. So you can't find that game. I have it, but I wasn't going to let it be used against me. So I put it on private, and that's where it's at. To go on the referee rant. So this isn't even about a referee. This isn't even an issue with a specific referee, or to come down on refereeing, or anything else. What I'm saying here is there has been a ton of penalties in this league, and again, I got just some stats here, because every team is saying when they go somewhere, geez, we'd score a goal, then it'd be a power play, another goal. So every team feels like they're being penalized a lot, but I just want to give you some idea of what we're talking about here. So Ferriton versus Oromocto in a 4-2 game, there was 28 minutes of penalties in a 45-minute game. KV versus the Outlanders from November 15th. There was 16 minutes and 45 minutes. So 16 minutes of penalties and 45 minutes of gameplay. Outlanders versus Edmundston, November 15th. 18 minutes of penalties and 45 minutes. Lancaster versus the Outlanders from November 7th. There was 20 minutes of penalties and 36 minutes of gameplay. November 1st. KV Outlanders, this one was a little more reasonable. 10 minutes of penalties and a 45-minute game. Hampton Outlanders, 12 minutes of penalties and a 36-minute game. KV versus Ice Dogs from November 9th. 24 minutes of penalties and a 45-minute game. Ice Dogs versus Oromocto, 16 penalties, 32 penalty minutes. Ice Dogs versus Oromocto in a separate game. This one way more reasonable. 5 penalties, 10 minutes of penalty time. Edmundston versus Lancaster, 18 penalties, game 1, 36 minutes. Edmundston versus Lancaster, game 2, 11 penalties, 22 minutes. Lancaster versus Hampton, 16 minutes of penalties out of a 36-minute game. Sussex versus the Ice Dogs, 36 minutes out of a 45-minute game. And that's when I'm really happy with our boys for winning that game. But the Ice Dogs can turn around and say, geez, we couldn't get out of the gates. There's 36 minutes of penalties in that game. Outlanders versus Sussex, 14 minutes of penalties in a 36-minute game, etc. Like I say, I get the sheets. Sussex versus Lancaster, 36 minutes of penalties in a 36-minute game. So I'm not saying any one team's getting penalized. The issue is, like, we're big kids now. Like, look at the growth spurts some of these kids are having. And they bump, and they'll hit each other with a stick, and the kid will fall down. And just, the standard is still like this U9 IP level standard, where once we get into U15 and it's hitting hockey, the standard changes drastically. And we're just in that in-between range, where a lot of the referees are treating them like little kids, and it's just penalty, 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 penalty. And it's just not fun hockey to watch. Like, I'm hoping we can get beyond that. Fortunately, we and maybe this will go the other way. Maybe people are really angry about this. But the Ted Mckight tournament, the referees there, older officials, did an excellent job. Some people are probably saying, geez, there was all kinds of hits and they let everything go, like, unacceptable. Man, to me, I don't want every minute to be spent in the box. We're paying ice time. We don't need our kids sitting in the box all day long. People are going to fall down. Once in a while, people are going to get a little bit hurt. nobody really misses a shift. You know what I mean? Somebody might lay on the ice. They're going to get up. They're going to play. Anybody that does my pickup hockey knows how I referee it. Like, you can lay on the ice all you want. You're not going to get any sympathy out of me. Like, I realize people really do get hurt, but, you know, people don't get hurt every game. So I would love to see less penalties. I have no say on that. But again, here's where I come back to my thing. If I'm live streaming and I'm talking to my Sussex people or whoever might tune in, mine's a little bit more open to the public than most. A lot of people smartly keep it on a private Facebook page where they're only talking to their private parents, and that might be the way to do it, because, you know, if my team's getting a lot of calls against them and I say, geez, this referee's really got it out for us or something like that, and I absolutely did not say that, but if I was to say that, what's that to anybody else? That's my private group of private people listening to whatever. If I'm on a YouTube channel with 8 people watching at the time and I say, geez, there's a lot of penalties in this game, that's me having a discussion with whoever decided to follow in. And if they don't like it, they don't have to follow in. Same thing, if I'm a Toronto Maple Leaf fan and I'm watching Toronto play Boston Bruins and I turn on the Boston feed and I'm like, geez, these Boston commentators are homers for my team. As a parent, or well, as a fan in this situation, I'm not going to get all mad at Boston, am I? So that's my reprieve, because I toot my own horn. I'm probably the biggest live streamer on our league. So if they set that standard to where I try so hard not to say anything to upset anybody, but if they set that standard of me saying, geez, there's a lot of penalties, and penalize me for that, I mean, that sets a precedent for everybody else to live stream, and nobody's going to want to do it. Nobody's going to be able to speak their mind. And I already self-centered to such a degree that I think it would be foolish to come down on me. So that's my defense. But let's jump into the game anyway, because I don't want that to overshadow the fact that Lancaster did have a very good game. And this is where I'm talking about. Usually I have the game sheets all ready to go. I have them all written out, like this person scored this goal, etc., etc. I don't have that going on here. So I'm going to kind of do it with you. So this could be just a long, boring, terrible podcast today. But we're going to go through it here and see what we can do. So the first goal of the game came with 5:13 in the first period. And it was scored by number 16, which is the Lancaster Parker McLaughlin. Again, there's a Sussex Parker McLaughlin and a Lancaster Parker McLaughlin. So Parker McLaughlin from Lancaster scored that one, and it was assisted by Hunter Calhoun. The next goal was at the 4-minute mark of period 1. So this is Lancaster Sussex, just so I haven't lost everybody. The 4:05 mark, and that one was Tucker Godin, and he got an assist from Ian Moffat. And then Sussex finally, so right now it's 2-0 for Lancaster. Sussex finally answers back. Wow, that was DeMerchant too. DeMerchant, you had a good week if you tuned in. So Ryan DeMerchant scored the goal from us with an assistant from Jack Merrill, and that will be our only goal. So right now it's a 2-1 hockey game. So from there we keep going. I'll just kind of list them right off because, again, we got a lot of game sheets to go through. So Jackson Mason scored with an assist from, they wrote down number 4 here as an assist, but they don't even have a number 4 on the team. We can assume it's Lucas Purdy in 14. And another assist for Hunter Calhoun. So that was so that makes it 3-0 or 3-1 Lancaster. And then Maddock McDonough scores with an assist from Tanner Fulton and Hunter Calhoun. Hunter Calhoun, busy man. So that's 4-1, and then it's a non-assisted goal from Torrey Bedford, and that finishes out that game. 5-1 game. Again, we got into some penalty problems. We got into some potential suspension problems. I had to do some clips, send things off. I thought we were penalized enough. We got away with that one. So we get out of that game, and then that takes us to the tournament. So the tournament kicked off to Thursday night. Again, I'm kind of doing this out on the fly. The first game was the Hampton Huskies versus the Sussex Rangers. And again, I was mentioning before, Hampton Huskies, they did really well against KV there Monday night, but they got hit hard. They got sick. They were missing not only like 5 players, but 5 of their best players. And they had affiliates up. And not only their affiliates were also playing a hockey tournament down in St. Stephen. So it was all kind of a mess for Hampton. It was an unfortunate situation. But Sussex, we were on fire. We were doing awesome. Again, I liked a lot less penalties. 3 penalties in the whole game. Like, good officiating to me. 3 penalties, about the right amount. So I was pretty happy with that. Did Hampton score first? It looks like Hampton scored first. I couldn't remember that. So the goal scorer was Jax Winters, and he got an assist from Cole Hooper. I kind of remember that. I think it was a tip. It's hard to remember all 8 games now. They're all on the channel. Everything with Sussex obviously is on the channel. So if you want to look that one up, I even have highlight reels of these ones. They're shorts, like 1-minute videos. I should have watched those before even doing this, and then I could give you a better hint of what was going on here. So they scored first, and then I guess we just go on a tear after that. Jack Merrill scored with an assist from Parker McLaughlin, and it looks like another assist from Felix Travis. And then it was an unassisted goal from Emmett Tabor. And then Jay Cunningham scored with an assist from Sawyer Tremblett. Cooper Gregg with an assist from Rep Proctor. And Sawyer Tremblett again with an assist from Cone Butcher. And that gives Sussex a win. That was the first game of the tournament. The next game was the Oromocto Eagles versus KV. Tight game. It was a 2-1 final. KV with the win. Again, I always find that funny with Oromocto because like they haven't won. Their record isn't good. You'd think that they were a bad team, but they're not a bad team. This KV team I thought was awesome. I'm surprised they're not at the top of the league. But it's a 2-1 hockey game here. I got to deal with this handwriting. It looks like Nolan McGraw scored. This is scribbled as anything. Nolan McGraw scored with a shot from or assist from Sam Fougier, and then the next goal is Margaret scored with an assist from Sam Fougier, and Bentley Nelson got an assist on that. And the goal scorer for Oromocto was number 9, which was a McHatton for sure, but which McHatton? I think that's Drew McHatton, and it's assisted by number 11. They don't put which is Luffman. That Luffman kid is really a good hockey player. And number 10 was the other assist, Gabriel Cote Bababo. I know I'm saying that wrong, but that's the third assist. They don't have their player list in numerical order. Makes it hard on me. So we have KV with a win, Sussex with a win at this point. So it's a 4-team tournament, single round robin, and then a semi-final, which is 2 versus 3. And then the top place team had a bye to the final, and the winner of that semi-final got to go play them. So game 3 here, Sussex Rangers versus Oromocto Eagles. We were rolling in this one. Jay Cunningham. This was a coming out party for Jay Cunningham. He was incredible. I was going to make a highlight reel just to Jay. The tournament doesn't end well for him. We have a lot of players on our team. Don't think things through. Do a little too much. Take stupid penalties. Do stuff without thinking. Jay got himself in one of those situations where he had such a good tournament, and like it's gonna be overshadowed by something stupid he did at the end of it. But My cat's gonna meow all day long here. Parker Luffman got that first goal unassisted. Oh yeah, this was the puck dropped. He came down and shot it in our net. I was like, oh no, is this how this game's gonna go? So Ormukto scored before the clock even started ticking. I remember the situation now. But then we started rolling. It took us a little while though. Well, not that long. So Cohen Butcher scored at the 10-minute mark of the first period. So Cohen Butcher with an assist from Jay Cunningham, and then Jay Cunningham scored unassisted, and then Jay Cunningham scored with an assist from Cohen Butcher and Sawyer Tremblett. And then I don't know what this is. I can't interpret this, but whoever scored the next one was assisted by Parker McLaughlin. Oh, I think it's 98. It's Emmett Tabor. Emmett Tabor assisted by Parker McLaughlin, and then Jay Cunningham again, Sawyer and Cohen Butcher. Then Emmett Tabor again got another goal, and then Jack Merrill scored with an assist from Felix Travis. So that game ended up ending 7-1. They scored again before the clock started, and then it was all us, a bunch of unanswered game or goals. So Sussex with 2 wins, KV with 1 win. That's where we're sitting right now. Game 4 of the tournament. This is KV versus the Huskies. KV got a lot of goals. Who scored first here? No goals in the first period. For the amount of goals that are in this game, no goals in the first period. That's kind of surprising. The handwriting of the scorekeeper here is not wonderful. So it looks like KV started us off. It was number 15. Sorry, it's not closing. Okay, number 15, Luke Nicole unassisted. And then it was... Then Hampton scored back, so it's a 1-0 game right now for KV. Hampton comes out. Number 15 scores for them, which is Ellie Hatfield. And that was assisted by number 6, which is Bradley Morrison. Again, their roster is just a bunch of scratched out names because everybody's sick as a dog. And then they scored... No, that's in the third. And then, so it's a 1-1 hockey game. Over here, number 17 scored, Sam Fougier, as you'd expect. And then it is... So it's a 2-1 game right now. Then Noel McGraw scored with an assist from Margaret Marr. And then Hampton scored, which was once again number 15, which is Ellie Hatfield again, with assist from Sam Gilbert and Grayson Damon. So right now it's a 3-2 hockey game for KV. Then KV starts rolling. So Carl Augustine scores the next one with an assist from Liam Werner, and then Noel McGraw unassisted, and then Sam Fougier unassisted, and then Noel McGraw unassisted, and then we get Henry Pond with an assist from Braden Grant. And that's the final. It's an 8-2 final. So KV with 2 wins, Sussex with 2 wins at this point. This brings us to the big showdown, the 2 undefeated teams, KV Hampton. This was Nolan's game. I think I can do this one from memory. It was... Did we score first or did they score first? They scored first. No, we scored first period. Okay. Cohen Butcher got a goal. Oh yeah, this one was mostly all Jay Cunningham. He came in. I think he took a shot, the rebound Cohen got, or else it was a real good pass to wide open Cohen Butcher. Cohen Butcher was the first one on the scoreboard there. So we were up 1-0. I thought Nolan was doing really well. Again, he's my kid. I'm going to promote him. But he did really good. I thought we had more shots in this game for sure. Cam Delaney had a fantastic game. I forget what the shots were, but I think Nolan had 17 shots against. I think Cam had 27 or something. I'm kind of talking out of my butt there, but I'm pretty sure those are close to accurate. So right now it's a 1-0 game. We, as always, get into penalty problems. We have a 5-on-3 against us at least every game. We got to figure out how to not do that. We play with an edge, but we play with a stupid edge at times. Like a play's over, the guy's going around, and we give him an extra shot just to have the referee give us a penalty. Like I wish we could get rid of these stupid things we do. Like, I don't mind the edge that our boys play with, but there is a lot of stupid things. Like, as soon as we take one penalty, we're almost sure to take a second one. But, so we get into a 5-on-3. Kyle Forgy, big shot from the back end, but I almost feel like it was going, and then it hit something, it kind of went back up. It goes over Nolan's shoulder, but the shot was from the blue line. It wasn't an overly hard shot, but it seemed to stay that trajectory the whole way in. It didn't arc at all. Like, I feel like it went off something on the way in there. But Kyle Forgy, really nice shot. He had a great game. He got player of the game, actually. So that was the first one. So we had a tie game, 1-1. And then, what was the deal on this? It was a beauty goal. It was something. Again, he played today, so I'm mixing the two games up. But I remember it would have been a tricky goal to save. Henry Pond got it. It's assisted from Blake Arnott. But it's a 2-1 hockey game. We get down to the dying minutes. Again, it was a pretty good game, pretty even game. Dying minutes, we pull the goalie. They get an empty net. So Sam Fougier shoots it in the empty net from way out. With that kid's accurate as anything. So it's a 3-1 hockey game. As the goalie dad, I'm going to preface that, say Nolan only let in 2. One of them was an empty netter. So KV, 3 wins, Sussex 2 wins. KV gets the bye to the final. We had to go play the winner between Oromocto and Hampton. So here's the Oromocto and Hampton game. This is a 1-0 hockey game. Oromocto, first win of the season. So they're able to slip one out. And again, I don't think they're a bad hockey team. So it's funny to say that they've only won one game because I find that unbelievable. But Cohen Arnott, I'm bad with how to say that name, from assist from Brady Bowie and McHatton. Drew McHatton. No, Emmett McHatton. So Emmett's number 4, Drew's number 9. Again, they don't keep their sheet in numerical order. It drives me nuts. I have to rewrite it every time. But so that Cohen Arnott gets the only goal of the game. It's a 1-0 hockey game. Hampton again, sick as dogs, poor kids. That's the end of their tournament. Oromocto goes on to play us in the morning. And our boys were rolling. Our boys came out hot this morning. So I remember it was the Jay Cunningham Rep Proctor show. They both had a hat trick in this thing, I'm pretty sure. At the 10-minute mark, number 14 for them scored. And again, this was today. Mitchell is in net. So I'm just trying to piece this back together in my head. I don't have a great memory. Number 14, Finn Collins gets the first goal with an assist from number 16. Man, get a numerical order sheet here. 16, Peter Baker. So the first goal of the game is that. It's Finn from Baker. And then Sussex scores. And it's Jay Cunningham from Cohen Butcher and Sawyer Tremblett. And then Sussex scored again. And it was Jay Cunningham from Cohen Butcher. I know that sounds familiar. Emmett McHatton scored over there with an assist from number 10, which is Gabriel Colt. I'm just going to stop there and stop trying to say his last name. But so it's 2-2 game. But again, our boys started rolling. Brett Proctor with the next one from Cooper Gregg. then Cohen Butcher from Jack Merrill and Jay Cunningham, and then it's Rhett Proctor from Cooper Gregg, then it's Jay Cunningham from says from number 20. We don't have a number 20. I don't know. On the scoreboard it says number 20. We don't have a number 20 on our team. Well, Jay Cunningham scored that. Rhett Proctor scored the next one. It's great to have all the kids run around, all the other Sussex kids throwing their hats on the ice. Or was probably getting pissed there. Again, it was a 7-2 hockey game at 10 in the morning. Really lively crowd of, again, a lot of the other kids were watching. They threw the hats on for Jay Cunningham's hat trick. Then they threw the hats on for Rhett Proctor's hat trick. I could see the Oromocto crowd probably not liking that, but people were having fun. You know, that's what it's all about in the end of the day, right? So that brings us to the final, which is tonight, which is still probably listed as live streaming, but you're not going to see this at the same time. So going through all that, it's making me draw a blank at everything that happened. I know Brady Grant was the story early. Yeah, okay, I'm piecing it together here. Brady Grant, wicket tip. I don't have this game sheet. Brady Grant got a wicket tip off a Sam Fugier goal, beat Nolan, and then on that same shift, Grant came in, inside post and in, and it broke our back, basically. They're up 2-0, and we have nothing going on. KV's all over us. They're the much better team in this game. They look like monsters. The kids came out on fire. Every one of them looked good. Every line looked strong. They were doing things like, they were doing special teams like Carl Augustine on the back end there, taking big shots. They seemed to be working their lines. They were line matching. They were doing all kinds of big league stuff, and the kids were responding. Every one of them was playing a heck of a game. We seemed to be fumbling pucks left, right, and center. We couldn't seem to get any control. So right there, they're up 2-0, and it seems like we can't get anything going. We had no pressure, no anything. Ryan DeMerchant gets down into their zone. He's all alone. I think it's in the middle of a line change. He throws it on net. The goalie's kind of sliding over just to get in position, but he just opens the 5-hole at just the worst time because it was just a muffin of a shot, and it slipped in and gave us life. So it's a 2-1 hockey game. I think that's close to the end of the first period. So it really gave us some okay, we're just down 1 goal. Nolan McGraw, I think, was in the penalty box, and he came out of the penalty box. He gets the puck, he makes a wicket move around West Tabor, and then he's able to really show a lot of patience and skill. Gets around Nolan, gets enough to shoot at. It was a big league play. It was a very skilled play. So that put them up 3-1. And again, when we're down 2 and we got nothing going on, again it seemed like we were done and out, and we had no hope once again. I think it was DeMerchant once again. He's going in, he gets tripped up. I think it should have almost drew a penalty. He's down on his knees and he's able to get the goal. And no offense to Ryan, but he's not the star of the league by any means. So for him to get 2 incredible goals to keep us into this game was absolutely fantastic. So he did that for us, got us in there. And, so that makes it a 3-2 hockey game. I think this is a 5-4 final. We lose. But I'm absolutely drawing a blank who scored our other goals. Oh, there was one. I think as the game becomes tied at 3-3, we shoot it in and it goes off one of their players' foot, completely redirected in, and not even in a cluster. It was just kind of them there by themselves. So Sussex, we're just getting lucky to get goals at this point. I think that's what made it a 3-3 game. I feel bad I don't have the game sheets or anything else. I think it's going to be one of my most viewed games in a long time. It's still up there streaming, doing big numbers. I'm going to have it all edited out. But the long and short of it is we lose. We get into penalty trouble at the end of the third. Not only that, we weren't getting anything going. We weren't getting any zone time. We weren't getting any shots. We were just getting lucky to get in there. We were getting lucky goals the whole time. So we end up losing 5-4. And the heartbreaker for me, And this is I understand he should be penalized, whatever. But like Jay Cunningham was absolutely the hero for us this whole tournament. I was all ready to make a great big highlight reel and everything good he did and blah blah blah. Then he got himself into trouble at the end of that game where he's probably gonna have to sit a couple of games out, or maybe more than a couple. So it's just an unfortunate thing. Just what can you say? It happened. It's going to overshadow the fantastic tournament he had. He had 2 different games with hat tricks. He had other goals. He was our heart and soul. We put the C on him, and he did awesome. You know what I mean? So it sucks that that's how it ended, but that's where we're at. That was the end of the Ted McKnight. The congratulations to the KV Hawks. You are the champions of this weekend. You are the Ted McKnight champions. Good job. Thank you for all the parents. Again, even that Lancaster game I'm complaining about. Thank you, Lancaster, for relying on me to do your live streaming. I was happy to do it. I feel bad that I did take it down, but part of it didn't work. Part of it maybe I was, cranky for, but I really feel like it was even keel. I really don't think I said anything bad. I just, things happened in that game that I don't want to go back on us. So I took that one down. KV, thank you for relying on me to do that final. I hope I covered it good enough for you. And basically, that's her. That's the Bob Pod, episode 13. Thanks for tuning in, all of you that tune in. I can't believe the numbers we're doing. Even regardless of just this podcast part of it, all the numbers on everything else are getting pretty big. Honestly, the subscribers, something like 532. Which I don't ask people to subscribe or anything. I needed 50 originally to be able to do the channel. But it's cool to see it rise. It's cool to see people actually want to tune in and actually pay attention. I was at a friend's house, and they have younger boys, U9 and a U7 boy. But it's such a leap to watch NHLers and things, to get to watch even some of our old U9 games and U11 games that are on my channel, and to get to watch the highlight reels of kids that they could relate to more. This isn't watching Sidney Crosby, it's watching some good kids that are just a few years later and able to inspire them. So it's cool to see friends of mine start to follow the channel, to have their kids watch. I find that makes me happy, makes it all worthwhile. I really enjoy that. So thank you everybody that's tuning in. We got 30,000 views in the last 28 days or something. And a view, again, on YouTube isn't a view on Facebook. You scroll by a thing on Facebook, it counts as a view. If the same person watches a video 20 times on YouTube, it only counts as one. It only counts one profile for one view. So for as niche as this is, we're talking about U13 AA hockey in part of New Brunswick, and we're getting 30,000 different profiles watching things. That's pretty impressive. So thank you so much for everybody that's tuning in. Again, people are hating on things I say during the game. Just know I'm trying my best. Nobody beats themselves up for saying the wrong thing. To a fault, I worry what strangers think of me. So I don't try to do that. I'm not trying to be critical of a referee, certainly not a young referee. I will point out how I referee and how I like hockey is a lot less penalties. So on my commentary, even maybe your kid gets hit pretty hard and you think they deserve a penalty, and I say, oh, well, I don't think that should be one. I apologize for that. I just generally like to see the hockey games roll out and the kids get to play. So that being said, again, the 2 quick games this week. Let's go into, maybe I do have time to do the standings. Again, this is probably one of the longest ones we've done, but usually I tell you the schedule and the standings here. So I'm going to do that. I know we're already into 35 minutes. But I do have the laptop in front of me. Okay, the Outlanders still leading the charge here. 6 wins, 0 losses, 2 ties. Next, the Fredericton Ice Dogs, 5 wins, 1 loss. Next, still us. Again, this is just not counting the tournament. If I could say not counting the tournament, then Nolan's still undefeated regular season. But Sussex Rangers right now 4-3. Lancaster 4-4, so they're right there nipping at our heels. KV 3-3-2, but I don't know how they're 3-3-2. Man, they looked good against us today. I don't know how they're not top of the league. Edmundston 3-6-1, Hampton 2-3-3, and Oromocto 0-7. So that is the standings, and let's go see what games are going on this week. Give me a second here. I just got to filter it a little bit so we're not looking at everything. U13 AA. This must be last week. Um, 17th to 23rd. So this is, here we go. Okay, week 6. Monday night, Monday, tomorrow, Hampton versus Sussex Rangers in Sussex at 6:45. Hopefully Hampton's starting to feel better. I'm hoping that's a 24-hour thing. Again, they're down and out and sick. Sussex, we could use a little booth pick-me-up, so I don't know. One way or the other. Hampton, I hope you're feeling better. Sussex, I hope we're playing better. We're missing who has topped out as our star player, Jay. I didn't think we had a star player before we named him captain, and then he started carrying us. So Jay's going to be missing for that one. So that's where we're at. Hampton versus Sussex Monday night. And then Friday, goes all the way to Friday. It's Oromocto versus Lancaster, and that's in the Gorham Arena in Lancaster at 7 o'clock on Friday. Saturday night, the Outlanders play the Ice Dogs at the Willie O'Ree Centre, 6:45 over there. And then Sunday, it's Oromocto versus the Outlanders, and that's 9:15 a.m. And that is the schedule for week 6 of U13 New Brunswick West. This has been a long one. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for listening to me whine at yous. And I hope you all enjoyed the show and enjoyed another week of hockey. And we'll get into it for next week. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.